have all the winners and stuff right here.
You are so ready.
So we need it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we're just, drinking shit, we're talking. Hey everybody, welcome back to Lone Star Sumo's Sake and Sumo. I am here with, as always, Justin Kizzard.
Heyo!
And I'm Caleb Backus, and today we're a little different. We're doing a little bit different. We're not talking about professional, we're going amateur.
Yep.
And we're not drinking sake today. What are we drinking, Justin?
We're drinking soju, which is a Korean kind of
Rice wine kind
rice wine-ish. It's
Yeah.
kind of, if you were to distill sake, that would be shochu, but the equivalent of shochu, the Japanese shochu, is soju in Korean.
I was given this little box of beautiful things by our fellow amateur wrestlers in California. So, Kellyanne and Brenda, thank you so much. I love you ladies. This is actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm having the green apple.
And I'm having
Thank you,
the
Kelly.
apple mango. Thank you, Brenda. Okay, so we are talking about the North American Sumo Championships here in America. It happened in Vegas last weekend?
Last weekend.
Last
Saturday.
weekend. And I first want to congratulate one of the 5 Texas members who made it to the Team USA. He's sitting right next to me. His name is Justin Kizzard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He is
I'm
competing in the
honored.
World Games next year.
I am going to be a World Games person.
You a world-class athlete now, boy.
Not until I get on that podium.
Well, technically, just making it makes you a world-class athlete.
Okay.
But
fair
that's
enough,
not your
fair
final
enough.
goal. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
final goal.
And I do believe, this is just from seeing, we're going to go over all of the winners, but just seeing all the other competitors that are on Team USA, this is our year. And I'm freaking excited. We will go over everything. I'm just pumped that, and it's crazy. America only has one silver medal, one medal out of all the years that we've been accepted into the World Games.
And a gold. Manny's got a gold in 95.
That's in 95. That's true. And a gold.
Yeah.
But like in the last, since, the 2005 games, only one American. I've went through all the stats.
Yeah, because that was a long time. 1995 was a long time ago.
That is a very long time. Yeah.
We also, later on, will have 2 interviews with one of the other qualifiers and one of the alternates. Liesel from Dark Circle Sumo.
Yep.
And Simone from Mighty Eagle Sumo. We'll be talking to them today. First, I just want to go through, it was a little crazy. Vegas is a crazy place to have a tournament. I mean, it's a good place to have a tournament.
It was a good place after the tournament.
Yes.
It was nothing but temptation before the tournament.
And the temptation didn't bother me as much as the walking. There's a lot of walking in Vegas.
Yeah.
And my calves were cramping, and I'm like, I gotta wrestle tomorrow, guys. I can't just be walking all freaking day.
Yeah. And I happened to be staying at the hotel that was, I thought I was being convenient. I was staying at the hotel that was technically across the street from UNLV campus, but didn't really realize that where we were having the tournament was on the complete opposite other end of campus.
Yes, I want to talk about that too. UNLV is a huge campus.
Seriously.
I've seen some big campuses before. Austin's got a nice size one. UTSA in San Antonio is pretty big. This sucker was giant. Maybe because it was in the desert, so it had more room. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Because we got dropped off. We were like, we're going to this location on UNLV. And this guy dropped us off and says, here we are. We weren't there. We had to walk all the way across that son of a gun to find a place to weigh in.
Yeah.
It was exhausting.
Yeah.
Jesus. And that was just the beginning. That was just weigh-ins. But, it was fun because in weigh-ins I got to meet one of my heroes, John Jacks. Yeah. He's mover and pusher in American Sumo since the 70s. He's a very important person.
And he is a lover of our Sumo and Sake channel.
So, to you,
Monsieur Jacques.
we love you, man.
For sure. And also, quick shout out to Sumo Kaboom for doing an interview with John Jacques. That was phenomenal. Like, I listened to it twice just because there was so much knowledge that he was spitting in the second half of the interview. blew me away.
Did
Didn't
you-
even know anything about well, I knew that they were kind of impoverished farmers that had left Japan. That's why there are farmers in Brazil. But I didn't know that they also the Japanese diaspora was also in Hawaii. I didn't know that they were part of that same wave, and how Japanese got to Hawaii, to Brazil,
To California. Yeah.
That was cool. That was so cool to hear.
There's also another good one. You might have World of Sumo. Did an interview with him, and in that one he breaks down more of his time at the Heya, the Beya that he went to for the summer. The 3 months that he spent there.
Yeah.
And he breaks down pretty good. So if you like the history stuff, watch that one too, because it's fun. Like he talks about how he's like. Before then, he was like heavy, and he was like, he's heavy. He always had to try to lose weight, and then he was like, oh, it's sumo. I'll just eat before I start. And then after those 3 months, he like was the lightest he's ever been in his entire life. After 3 months of working in that sucker, but it's a really good one too. So World Sumo, great interviews out there with that man. So go check that out. But we're here to talk about Vegas tournament.
Yes.
It was a qualifier for the World Games, and I took a bunch of notes for this.
I was the bad student and did not take a bunch of notes, but I do hope that it is all up in my head.
So
we're just gonna go off of him.
We're just gonna start off with the. We're gonna go in order. So we're gonna start off with the women lightweights. We had two big showings from two newcomers.
Yes.
In the women lightweights, like never done sumo till this tournament. That was
Mr. Logan Graves.
Logan Graves.
AKA Sigourney Weaver in Aliens.
AKA Cyborg.
AKA Cyborg.
Well, I think we named her like a bunch of things because she just looked like a badass.
And I don't know, for some reason they, I guess the Florida team, you guys could tell us, for the Florida team calls her pork chop.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
I don't know what that is.
So if you're part of the Florida team, you're watching this, please put down some comments about that, because we are really interested.
So, Sigourney Weaver or Ripley.
Ripley.
I can definitely run with that.
So yeah, she got first place. She showed up and got first place. A mainstay in lightweights and who got first place in nationals this year.
Yeah.
Ketzel ended up in second, and then another newcomer, Elizabeth Salazar.
Yep.
She got third place, so she's going to be qualifying too. She did really good. I was really freaking proud of her because she's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And she showed up, and I just like, hey, this is what you should do, and she did it, and
it's
she qualified.
pretty cool. Like as we go along in this list, there were favorites who are poised to win, but like it's really cool to see new fresh faces and take sumo seriously, and you'll see a few of them that we mentioned as we go along that just it was like possibly their first tournament or whatever, and they just kind of shined. Like
it was fun.
It's refreshing. It was interesting to see.
It felt like American Sumo was going somewhere. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I want to mention who she also did a really good job was Dark Circle's Liesel. She got the first alternate.
Yes.
And I was excited about that because she performed well. I was very. She may not have been happy with her own performance. I was very happy with her performance.
She's just like the rest of us, just like a perfectionist, and so it was her first real tournament. Yes, she's done the Houston tournament, but this was the first high stakes tournament where she got a taste of the mentality that it takes to keep mentally steady, to advance on ahead, but she's taking notes. She's going to bounce back, and so please look for her in 2022 to really take over, especially at nationals in April.
Yeah, Salt Lake.
At FitCon.
Yeah. So it was really good. My favorite match was Ketzel and Liesel. Ketzel had a fantastic throw on Liesel. Liesel was in really good position, but Ketzel, right when she was in, she took a step forward. Ketzel moved and threw her. Hopefully, I'm showing a clip right now. It was pretty. It was fun to watch. It was exciting.
Yeah.
So that was our girls. That was our lightweight women.
Yep.
Good.
Well, welcome to Sake and Sumo.
Thank you.
I'm Justin, and this is our special guest here, Miss Liesel Rickoff. also of Dark Circle Sumo. And so right now, I wanted to kind of talk to you about the future of women's lightweight, the future of women's sumo, and what what you think is important going forward for American sumo.
All right. Just generally?
In general.
I think we have a lot of promise for our American team going into Worlds,
Yes.
which is very exciting in and of itself.
Yes.
We got some powerful people that are very determined, so yes.
Now, you personally, what were your thoughts going into, because this was, this is your first, serious tournament. Now, you did the Houston tournament, but this is your first high stakes tournament where, titles and whatever, something is on the line. How did you feel?
In the moment, I think the whole experience is something I'm still processing and is going to be good for self-development.
Good. She
but-
big mad.
No, but anything, it teaches you more about yourself than
Yes.
anything else. More about yourself than it teaches you about sumo, whatever, wrestling, etc.
Well, sumo is an extension of yourself, and you win, lose a match, whatever, but it's also a part of, well, how did I feel going into it? If I, maybe I think negatively of myself, or maybe I think, I don't know if I can do it, or whatever, or something. It helps you develop your overall self, and then it extends to the rest of your life, in a
Right,
sense.
absolutely, 100%. Yes,
Yeah.
and that is what I'm learning and still figuring out.
Yeah.
But the whole experience was great, and it's just nice to have another tournament under my belt, and I wish there would just be more opportunities for tournaments, especially
Yes.
women's, and it sounds like 2022 is going to be a year of every month or every other month
Yeah.
a chance at fighting someone other than the people in our little circle.
Exactly.
Which is awesome.
Which is also for women's sumo. Period. Like that was the whole reason why Dark Circle Sumo and what Eros wanted to put on a women's specific sumo tournament, because the future of the sport in the U.S. is super important. Because other countries, a lot of, obviously all the top countries that are at the World Games, these guys have been taking, women and men's, and every weight category have been taking it seriously. And they've got like droves of these athletes. We're blessed and lucky to have, Liesel and Eros and Ari. But I would love to have it where we come a day where there's actually there's 10 women in there and 10 dudes, and just of all different sizes, and to be able to push that forward. Are we having an issue with getting new people in the sport? But also there's so many lightweight women who just can't see themselves. They say sumo, like. They can't even fathom it, and so it's awesome to see lightweights like yourself and like Ari, who people, you say, I'm sure you telling your friends or relatives and stuff, yeah, I do sumo wrestling.
Took a while to come out as an amateur sumo wrestler. Still,
sometimes
not
you got to
revealing
come out of the
that to
closet.
everybody.
Sometimes you got to come out of the closet. But random people that you talk to, with your friends, I'm sure you get it. Like if you say, "Oh, I'm a sumo wrestler," what are the things? What are the instant things that they tell you?
What are you wearing? What do you wear?
You're wearing the diaper.
You wearing the diaper? Do you wear underwear? Do you wear shorts?
So these are all the things that we're for wrestling or for sumo wrestling. Luckily we have women that are badasses, that are actually that are kind of breaking down these stereotypes, and so that people can actually cheer Team USA on at Worlds, because in 90 7% of Americans' minds, and I guess a lot of the West, a sumo wrestler should be a very large male person, and I love that. As a smaller person, I say I'm a sumo wrestler, and they're like, oh, well, look at you, you're too small. And then as a woman and a smaller woman, they just don't understand it. And then when you actually educate them about the international sumo, they're all about it, And so I think that that's an amazing thing, and I am very, very blessed and happy to have you on the team. And please look out for this woman in 2022 because she is going to be very dangerous.
So we're going to lightweight men.
I can definitely speak on that.
Yes, I first would like to say, because this I thought was really cool. Back in, was it June that we had nationals in Austin here?
Yeah.
Back in June, we had Trent Sable fighting light heavy. Mm-hmm. The man dropped all the way down to his old lightweight in the few months it took to get to Vegas. It was
insane. Hats off to him because I did not think he could do it.
I didn't either. I thought that he was just going to be a low light heavy. I don't think he was going to make it at all.
Yeah, but he did.
He did.
And I had to face him. And I was hoping that wasn't going to be a thing, but it was, and but that was good. As far as light heavy, we can go down the list, but I'd like to talk personally, being in the category, of how heavy the lineup was. There were people, there was about 4 of us favored to get the top spot. And that was JJ, myself, Joseph Ponsetto.
Yeah. That was the 3 I was expecting.
And of course Trent Sabo. So there was that's 4 heavy hitters that we were like, well, shit, one of us is going to get knocked out. So one got knocked out, but actually 2 got knocked out. Yeah.
Because there was a newcomer,
and in came Edobar,
and I cannot pronounce his last name. That was pretty good. I cannot pronounce that last name.
Edobar Conyejas. This kid, number one, he is 19 years old. I went to him after the tournament and just was like, how old are you? He's like, oh, I'm turning 20. I was like, oh, beautiful. He's 19 years old, has never been on the scene, just a fan of sumo. Was training with Eric. He's from North Carolina, and
that's a good one to train with because Eric, he didn't have any what's the word I'm looking for? Actual training, but his natural ability.
Exactly.
We'll get to him later. We're still in lightweights. I want to talk about some of the matches that were awesome.
Okay.
Trent. Most of them were Trent.
Trent versus what? The tall guy from Los Angeles.
Josh is his name.
Yeah.
So Trent and Josh went nuts. They went nuts. The Sumo Kaboom girls probably put it the best. It looked like 2 siblings just going at each other, just throwing each other around. And it ended with Trent just saying, oh, no more. Yeah. And he got underneath this tall human being and lifted him up and slammed him down.
Well, Trent was smart in that match in that he stayed. The one advantage of that guy Josh is that his center of gravity is much higher. So if he gets on the belt and it goes into just a basic 1 in 1 out, and all he has to do is stand straight up. Guys at Trent's my same height, so guys at my height, we're not at the advantage for these taller dudes. Trent constantly kept him moving, circling, and he stayed lower than his center of gravity, around and around in a circle until finally he picked his point where, and I saw him reaching for it, and he picked his point when he reached behind the thigh, and that's where when you're smaller, he was already low enough. He was literally below his hips when he was ready to picked him up, and the rest was history. That was probably one of the coolest techniques. I guess he could win a technique prize for that tournament.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And it wasn't just that one. He had, let me take you near the end. Justin here was taking on Trent, and the winner was going to be a qualifier. It was going to go down to the match that was going to be second
and
or
third.
third.
And the loser was going to be no. That was the one. That was an elimination round. When I faced Trent,
was elimination.
One of us are gone.
Yeah, one was going to be gone. The other one's going to take on the new kid.
At a bar.
So whoever won was going to place. The other person was out.
Right.
Because no matter if you won or lost the next
no
match,
pressure.
you would have gotten the top 3.
Right.
So it was that was the pressure against someone that he already puts pressure on himself. Trent's the guy he always wants to beat.
Yes.
And
I admire the man.
Woo!
As much shit talking as he
I'm just playing it right now. I'm just gonna play the match, hopefully in 2 different angles, so you can watch. The beginning was great because Trent tried to be tricky,
Yeah.
and Justin saw that.
I felt it. I don't know why, because him and I, in every match that we've ever had, it almost felt like a gentleman's thing of giving a clean, hard tachi. But something felt off, and I feel like he was gonna he was gonna go for it, because he didn't seem like he wanted to move forward. I don't know why. But I made the right call in moving off to my left, because he was sweeping extra hard. He knew, he knows I'm a lefty, and he was sweeping extra hard. He swept so hard, thinking I was going to be there, that it almost turned him sideways. And it was a good call. It was a really good call.
It was fantastic. The whole match is fantastic. I really enjoyed
thanks.
it. It was really good. I lost my
It was nerve-wracking for me. Jesus Christ.
there's no way I can put it. I lost my shit afterwards. I ran up to Justin and hugged him right after the match.
And
just
I'm
screaming, saying I
this
love
was
him.
the first man. I know you don't see it on camera because
No.
I end up running off, but like, I'm a grown man, but it was the first thing I saw him, and I hugged him like for what felt like forever, and I cried because we all.
Yeah.
You want to make it, and then year after every year sometimes it's just like you get this much closer, and then sorry, I'm getting emotional
Something
right now.
happens.
And
But he did
did it.
Right then, he did it, because no matter what happened after
Jesus
that,
Christ.
he had made it to the World Games.
and that hit me like a ton of bricks, and I cried like a baby.
And I was
In
with
this
him on
man's
that. I lost it, because I also knew how hard beating Trent is. I mean, I've never taken on Trent myself, but
Just
I watched the
in
man.
any of your weight categories, if there's there's that dude that just is your hurdle, and you just strive to to get over that hurdle, and you do it those are those moments in sumo that just I don't know that just make it worth all of the hard ass training. And so yeah.
so
And
he beat Trent, got 3rd place. Then he beat the new kid.
Edobar. After
Edobar.
I get done crying, they're like, "Oh, hey, Justin, you've got to go up and fight for a second or second and third." And I was like,
So he did that, got 2nd place, then took on Justin Jones. That one he lost. Justin Jones took 1st place and deserved
Yeah.
it. He did a great job.
he's amazing.
He was
That's all
that
I'm
was the
gonna
best
say.
I've seen JJ perform. JJ's out of San Diego,
Yeah.
and he did great. He just did great.
I cannot not. I am proud to be on that man's team. And actually, when he beat me, he just kind of was like, "Okay, you got to push forward. Like, I want you on this team." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I had to go put in some work, and and so we knew. I don't know why, because we talked actually right before lightweight, and we knew we were gonna be on that team. We didn't know who was going to be the 3rd, but we just, I said, no matter what happens between me and you, we're getting on this fucking team, and let's see what 3rd place takes. And it came true.
Yeah, it was awesome. So we're gonna be.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to you're calling it light heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So just for some of you viewers that don't know, there are 4 weight classes. Typically, but only every 4 years, only now for the World Games do they combine. They used to do this back in the day, but they combined middle and light heavy. So that's a crazy range. That is literally you could be as tiny as 188 or as big as
55,
253. No,
253.
253. Because they combine middle and lightweight. So hats off. Number one, hats off to all of you middleweights that bulked up, or even stayed at your weight class and still performed well. Period. Because
we got some stuff about that.
Light heavy was thick. I think it was the heavy, highest concentration of high caliber rikishi out of all the weight classes. In my opinion, that looked like a brutal battle uphill.
So we're going to start with the women. And speaking of that, the girl who got third place was a middleweight, and she was giving up 40 pounds to the other girls. This was Simone, also known as the taxidermist Rikishi. We will have an interview with her later, so that's going to be awesome.
Yep.
And she did really well. Like, she took on that first place Helen and wrestled her.
Yeah.
And she got low and took her on.
Helen is, and for our new viewers, Helen is was the ex-president of the USSF. Helen is also a medalist for, she's been doing judo since she was a child. Her brother is an Olympic judo athlete. She comes from a pedigree of judo. So, we were already, already expecting some amazing takedowns, and some great balance. And, and she's been on the world team.
When she was young.
For Sumo.
When was she, 12 or something like that? She was pretty young.
2009?
I don't remember exactly.
She was a young girl.
Very young.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's there. She's going to be there. I'm excited about that. And the second place person is Christina Jones from San Diego as well. She had a fast Hachiyo. It was like Quetzal fast. If you ever seen Quetzal wrestle, I'll probably have some stuff up. She takes off right when that Hachiyo happens. She's right off the line.
Well,
Christina was doing the same
Christina's
thing.
been wrestling a lot. She usually wrestles in heavyweight women's, and she's always the tiniest in heavyweight women's. She was able to cut down so that she could be in light heavy, and so she's already used to Kellyanne and Eros, all these heavier women where she's the tiny one, and I feel her. Because I was, being in the Los Angeles team for 3 years, I was the tiny dude. Me and Andrew were the only two small dudes. But it makes you that much more stronger when you can take on, someone in the heavyweights. So she performed amazing.
Yeah, and she got second place, and those are three.
Yeah.
Those are three light
women's.
heavy women's, and I'm very, very excited to have them. And we'll have Simone here later.
Yes.
So let's go on to the men's. That was
Men's
stacked.
lightweight.
The light heavy was stacked in the men's.
Yeah, that I even just looking at the brackets before the tournament, I told I had two new guys in the light heavies.
Sam and Andrew.
Sam and Andrew, and they, but they were fearless. They said, "Cool, I don't care. I'll take them on." But to be honest, that was like looking at that lineup.
Amount of national champions that
Amazing
didn't
names.
even make it to the podium.
Right. Can we talk about that?
Yes. Okay. So let's break a few of them down. We got Tatzenlatz from Florida. He didn't make it. In his defense, he was still medium weight. So I mean, if there was a medium weight, he probably would have been in the top 3.
Yep.
But he didn't make it. Freaking Ed didn't make it.
Ed didn't make it.
Ed's insanely good.
Which, sadly enough, Ed knocked out Cornelius, who was the favorite. Who he was definitely favored for any one of the spots. For sure, second, if not first.
Yeah, he's a fantastic technician. His flexibility is insane. We expected them to be up there. We knew some people were going to get dropped out, but we expected Corny to make it, and when he didn't,
definitely thought I didn't even blink an eye thinking Corny was going to make it. I knew he was.
That's three. That's 3 champions that didn't make it.
And then we also had two who hold title, two gold and silver medalists who just didn't come. They have, some people have, family issues and stuff. You had Jacob Gill, who did not show up, and then you had Sam Kimka from Dark Circle Sumo, who didn't show up as well. Both of them have, they've, I'll let them tell their story, but they had family things that, and family is priority, and your mental health and everything is priority, and
this
so
is true.
Understood, but definitely they missed out.
2 of the best in the nation didn't make it.
Yeah.
And then the guys who did make it, 2 of them I knew pretty well. There's Eric Juan, is that how you say his last name?
Yep.
Nguyen. Yeah. Nguyen. Starts with an N. Okay.
Yeah.
Nguyen from North Carolina.
Or Hune. Oh, sorry, Hune. No,
sorry.
Hune. Sorry.
I thought it was with the H. There we go.
My bad, Eric. Sorry.
So he was a heavyweight but he was very light on the heavyweight scale, so he dropped to get to the light heavies, and he dominated like we expected him to.
Eric's one of those ones, and it's nuts because he doesn't have a huge club. Luckily, there is one other, the guy Edobar is up there with him. Doesn't have a club, but his sumo, remember when he physically looks like a sumo wrestler?
He does.
Like,
he honestly looks like he's a sumo wrestler.
and his talent, I mean, his form is almost perfect. Like it's nuts. Like I love, and the dude's a great guy just to kick it with.
Yeah, he
like,
is.
He's pretty fucking cool. Shout out to you, Mr. Eric.
You are badass. We like you, sir.
Number 2
Was a new guy.
a dark horse in the race. That guy happens to be the coach of UNLV's wrestling team, which is also really big for us because he's passionate about sumo. I mean, of course, all he knows is wrestling, but he's also now passionate about sumo. And so he's going to start getting the university guys
Which would be
doing
great.
sumo at UNLV. And that is our next goal of having these university kids
college guys
get
to do it.
clubs. It could be something as a wrestler, it could be something you can do off season. Any club, any university, in your town, try to work something in with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Offensive defensive lineman too for football. Off season. It's very helpful. We can get that stuff going.
Seriously. That's a way to get people, who are young, who are fit, who are, and who have the mechanics, wrestlers, linemen, and maybe judo guys and stuff, who have the mechanics and who just maybe want to try something new. And who knows, just like the rest of us, you could be addicted for life.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And then we're going to bring up to the big daddy, the guy who won it, the guy who we know pretty well since he showed up to a San Antonio tournament out of the blue, never tried sumo before, and beat the living crap out of all of us.
Yeah.
Alabama himself.
Motherfucking Andrew Alabama Roden.
This guy is a beast, guys.
He is a unicorn.
He is.
He's not a beast. He's a unicorn.
The guy. Okay, so there's a guy, Sam Kempka. We talked about him earlier. He is a gold medalist in nationals before. He hits people so hard that most people go, "Oh my God, I didn't know I could be hit that hard."
Right.
And then the first time he went up against Alabama just took it until Sam wore out and then threw him down. And we were at that point, we're like, "Oh, this guy's no joke."
What the fuck? Yeah, his first ever showing was at the San Antonio tournament.
Went undefeated,
Just
heavyweight, and
came out of nowhere. Was
and
like,
open.
"Hey guys, and Andrew, I know you watching." Physically, I said, "Who's this guy?" I don't know. Like I didn't, he doesn't
look
he
like
doesn't
someone.
have this he's just got here like a nice guy you want to have a beer with. Look, but God damn, it's art in the ring watching him.
Yes, art.
He's got a core strength like no one else that I've ever seen. I mean, and he's got ring IQ that's through the fucking roof. I mean, now to be fair, he has been a wrestler since
forever.
Since he was a child. He was like high school all-state champion, college wrestler. So dude's been a champion in wrestling. But that shit transferred fucking well.
Yeah, and he was doing really well in heavyweights and was like, I'm not that heavy though. Let me drop down. And he got the light heavy, and no one's been able to stop him right now. He's a beast. He is a beast.
We are honored to have him on the U.S. team.
Yes.
For real. I shit you not. That man's mental, everything. Look back at the tapes. He's going to podium. He's going to podium.
I have some friends in San Antonio who showed up to the tournament we were talking about, the one in San Antonio, and they still ask me all the time, "How's Bama doing? Is he showing up to any of these tournaments?" He made fans in San Antonio that day.
Yeah.
Like, "How's Bama doing?" Because Bama's awesome. So how's he doing?
That man will podium. He will represent Team USA, and he will be standing up there with our flag.
He could easily do that. He is
Period.
that good.
I see it.
So, that was
Men's
those
light
guys.
heavy.
Anything else I want to talk about?
Women's heavy.
Corny, Eric Hoon.
And
No, that's
Corny,
Eric. Oh,
hey, Corny,
the one other
love
person
you.
I want to talk about,
I love you.
Simeon Vieira. He
yes.
is the son. He was the first Hawaiian we got to see. The Hawaiian showed up, and he was the first one that showed up because the rest of them were heavyweights, and this
Yep.
guy.
Yep.
And he is the son of one of my heroes, my other hero. I mean, we got to mention John. I got to mention the second one, W.I.N Vieira, who, strange enough, if I'm remembering correctly, it was a North American championship, and it was in Vegas as well, back in the early 2000s, where he beat Manny. He beat that mountain of a man.
Manny Yarborough.
Yeah. He beat him to win.
W.I.N Vieira.
W.I.N Vieira, who's a small heavyweight. And when I saw that, I became a fan. I'll try to find the clip if I can. It's not going to be easy. It was on ESPN2 when I was younger. But I became a fan of amateur sumo that day. Because I knew about it because Manny would go on the talk shows and stuff, and he was bigger than life. He was like Andre the Giant, but for sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to see this, and when I saw it, and I saw this W.I.N Vieira grab him by the belt and just hop this mountain out of the ring, I was like, no. Okay, sumo is awesome. And so to get to meet this man, there's a great documentary called East versus West, East Meets West, I believe, about the Hawaiians in the sumo, the professional sumo, and he's a main part of that documentary.
Where can you find this?
It used to be on Tubi. I think it's off now. There is a edited version, a 45-minute version on YouTube, if it's still there. And there's like an hour and a half version that you can find somewhere, which is better because it gives you all of it. And you get a lot of stuff. You get John Jax, you get him.
Right on.
W.I.N Vieira starts talking about he was in the same Bay Area as Akibono. They were friends before he got hurt and had to leave sumo before it. Because otherwise, most people, like Akibono said it a bunch of times. A lot of other people said he should have been in the top division. He didn't make it because I think
he had some internal injury that
like
had him out for
like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
And so it's just not enough time to get back into.
Yeah.
And it happens. That kind of shit happens.
You know?
So, but I got to meet him. I was so happy. And oh my gosh, the Hawaiians, their symbol is now one of my top 3 favorite amateur sumo symbols. It's like it's beautiful.
This
it's
cool
well designed.
dude in like a mask and the grass.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it skirt.
I
don't know, Hawaiians, you let us know what that is officially called, because I do not want to mess with
And then you see the islands above them like this.
Yeah. It's like the guys, the cool mask guys like holding the whole islands of Hawaii.
Oh, it's so amazing. It's up there now with me with the abolition using the Mothman and the simplicity of the Dark Circle Sumo. That's my favorite symbols. Yeah, the Mothman's awesome, guys. Check that out, Abolition Sumo. They have the awesome freaking thing. So yeah, I want to mention that real quick because that was really cool. I also took him out in the open. He kicked my ass, which was fun. Yeah, he kicked my ass.
I didn't actually see that match.
Yeah,
I apologize. I was already
just
getting drunk.
moved out the way, grabbed my arm, and like stuck me down before I had a chance to like take a step forward. And when I was like this, I was like,
we'll play the tapes right here.
I'll play it right now. So yeah. So speaking of me, we're gonna go on to the heavyweights.
Okay.
But first, we're gonna hit the women.
Yeah.
Fantastic talent in the women's heavyweights.
I know. We've got quite a lineup.
Fantastic talent. So we're going to start with the one who didn't make it, who I think is so talented, and that's Nicole Burgess from Mighty Eagle.
My girl, my boo-boo.
Woo! She's so good. She's better than she realizes she is.
You know, watching her, like, you know, watching her over the years, and her like how sumo. She's the perfect example of how sumo is also just an internal confidence booster, and watching how, you know, win or lose, Nicole. And I don't say it enough to her, but I do observe it, and I think her confidence level in herself has been phenomenal. And that's a beautiful thing in this sport, outside of just, you know, your physical strength and this and that, but like the ability to say, I can do this, and she's taking the sport on with, you know, some great heavyweights, and she's like...
Ones that outweigh her a lot.
Yeah.
She's like 200 pounds,
are just
and these girls are usually a lot bigger.
And she's getting in the ring with confidence. And like watching you, I'm speaking directly to you, Miss Nicole, watching you evolve, you know, internally as you know, your sumo fighting spirit is fucking beautiful.
It really
Win or
is.
lose, I highly respect you, and I just want you to know that.
Very proud of you, girl. Very
That's
proud.
all I gotta say.
So we're gonna go into third place.
And I want you to spank me.
Cut the video of Nicole getting spanked in Vegas. She's going to hate me for that. Too bad. There it is. So,
this is going to be good.
Third place was one of my favorite sumo wrestlers, and she's one of the ones that brought this to us today. She is Kellyanne. I love her. I love the way she wrestles.
Yes. Miss Kellyanne, not only is she a badass fighter, but she's also a super sweet person. We were on the same team in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I still, even though now, we're the Austin team and whatever, like, Los Angeles is always my number one home. Yamamoto Yama and Takeshi are my senpai, and like, that's still, that is still family to me. And so it's always great going to the tournaments and like just reconnecting again and just feel like, and still feeling like I'm just, like I'm just a wrestler talking to my friends on my old team. Kelly still makes me feel like family.
Straight
and I
up.
love her. So
And,
that's all I gotta say.
I do too. Straight up, and I only met her. I didn't meet her until was the 2020 Nationals in Philadelphia. Straight up, just loved her that first night. I was like, my God, I love watching wrestle. And she was like, thank you. And we started talking about sumo for a long time.
And your wife Brenda, sorry.
And Brenda.
Sorry, Brenda. We love you
We
too.
love you too.
We love you for this too.
Yes. So
Sorry,
it
go
was
ahead.
just really, really fun. And it's not just that. Like, there's the kind of a rivalry going on between California, Texas, and Florida.
Yeah.
But you see that in the ring,
Well,
but
time out.
outside the ring,
Florida was a non-start.
Florida is doing pretty damn well.
Right, yes.
They're going to get better. You know there's going to
I
get
do
nothing
know
but
this.
better.
I'm not shitting on you, Corny. I'm just saying, Texas, California.
We have 5. Texas and California both have 5 people making the Team USA. Fuck yeah.
I'll drink to that.
Drink to that. Catch up, Florida. Catch up.
No, wait. Don't. No, do.
But
It makes the whole of sumo better.
the second person who made it in the heavyweight girls was another California lady
Miss ya lady.
who I met
So tall.
at this year's Nationals.
beautiful.
Or actually, no, I met at Constance Cup.
Yeah.
At
Yeah, you met her at
2020.
Constance Cup.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
And I was sitting there because me and her husband Jose had epic battles at Constance Cup. It's some of my favorite matches.
They're the reason I got a really cool ass picture for Nationals. I was like, ooh.
We
Ooh,
were
that's
fighting
the one.
hard.
This is the one. That just showed the fucking heavyweight sumo. It was perfect, which is why it was plastered all over everything. Flyer, fucking everything.
So yeah,
Anyway,
that
sorry, go ahead.
happened,
Let you
and
speak
so
to-
afterwards I wanted to talk to him, and the lady was sitting there, and I was talking to her, and she liked the Continental Cup so much, she started doing sumo herself, and so she shows up at Nationals in Austin, and she got 3rd place. She did really well.
Yeah.
And she did really well, even though she didn't look technically that great yet. She's just physically talented at that point.
Yeah.
6 months later, I think it was about 6 months later.
Yeah.
We do Vegas, and I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Her jumping technique was enormous.
And she's so tall. Like, it's perfect, which is going to be perfect going into Worlds because the top female heavyweight athletes are pretty much at her height level. I think your lady, if she takes like the weight training and conditioning, super serious over the next 6 months, I think her and Eros, I think all of our ladies have a real shot at podium.
Speaking of the gold medalist, we haven't gotten to her yet, Eros Armstrong. She is here today. Maybe we can get her in here.
We've got Eros Armstrong.
We'll try to get her in there.
She's somewhere around here. We'll get her in.
We'll try to
here
get
for
an
a
interview
second.
with her.
And
She is, as I named her, the goddess of sumo.
yes,
She is fantastic. She, as normal, she killed it. She went more to a pushing, thrusting technique instead of your normal. She did the Tochinoshin lift out most of the time.
Now,
where she drove people out and kind of just.
I want to, with your lady, she did push. She pushed a bit more because we've been training to, your lady, love you. You've got really long arms. Of course, Eros is going to have to try to keep those arms off of her. So she did a bit more pushing with her. She knew that with Kellyanne, both of them, it just was like, power. It was just a lot of power sumo. So it was, it was a lot more. It was a lot more belt action. I want to hopefully get Eros to go, to train with the lady a lot more, because most of the, and I've looked at the records all the way down. Most of the women are literally a lady's frame.
Yeah.
You've got Anya,
I believe.
Polis.
Don't ask me the last
I'm gonna
name.
butcher your name. And there's Olga.
Jesus.
So that's Poland's. And Anna, I thought Olga had the most wins, but actually in history of any sumo athlete, men or women, Anya has the most gold medals in history. She has 6 gold medals
Jesus.
in history. Like, man or woman, she has the most medals
That's
at
insane.
Worlds. That is insane. And so we'll see what happens. But I for sure, I know, and I'm insanely confident about our women's heavyweight team.
Same here. Before we skip on to the last section.
Sorry, Anya.
I want to go over to opens, because something happened in the women's open that has not happened until that moment. Kellyanne was able to defeat Eros. The first woman to beat Eros in a match.
In history.
The point is,
it's true. You know what? That
she
might get
stepped
cut
forward.
out. A loss is a loss.
She stepped forward. Kelly knew she was off balance. Kelly did a little twist. She went down.
That's the
a win.
first time in history, and that's a long ass streak.
Yeah, it was
First
over 2 years.
in over 2 years
The woman beat
that a single woman has ever beaten Eros. So I would love to say that I had that record. So cool.
Yeah, I started to explain it.
I almost want to say
Eros became like a mountain that all the other American women want to climb.
Yeah.
It upsets Eros sometimes when I tell her this, because she's like, no, we should all aim for Worlds. They are aiming for Worlds. But in America,
But you first got to beat this.
you got to beat Eros. That's the mountain you have to climb.
Yeah.
It just happens that Kellyanne was the first person to climb that mountain. She won't be the last. When you have someone that good, it's going to make everybody else better. That's what great talent does.
That's what Trent Sable was to me.
Yeah.
He was the mountain I needed to climb, and I've climbed it 3 times now.
Ooh, Trent. You feel that? You feel that, Trent? Ooh. Sorry, we're going to try to fit in here. We're 2 big people. We're 2 sumo wrestlers.
I'm gonna say.
So this is Eros Armstrong. You have probably seen her on Sumo Kaboom or No Holds Bars. I believe you're on that, and countless others. You know her. You know her.
Hi, everybody.
We just wanted her on because we can get her a little drunk while we talk to her, which is going to change the whole thing.
I see.
So 2-time gold medalist here at the North American Championships last weekend. I love the way you changed up your style in this tournament. You went to a more pusher thruster instead of your normal belt lift out stuff that you normally do. I love the fact that you changed things up on people.
It felt right.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot going on this year. COVID has done a lot, but I've been training with my friends and training with my coach. My sensei just said, he's like, just go out there, show them what you got. And I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. I was fantastic to watch. As usual, I was very happy to watch you. I'm going to be more happy. I'm going to give everything I got to get out there to Alabama to watch you dominate in Worlds.
You know, that is also a thing. I was noticing the European girls doing a lot more pushing, thrusting, and hands. And I was like, I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do that too.
Do it. It also gives you another weapon. You can get inside, grab them, or you can push them away. Whatever works best for you at that point in time. That's going to be you.
I'm also looking for a little more. I'm touching my roots in Texas with other Texas athletes.
Yes.
And basically asking them to assist me so that I can bring even more against the European, Titans.
Yes.
I can be like, okay, you guys are number 1. That's great. I'm going to ask all of Texas to help me so that I can bring forth my best A game and every skill or technique that they have there. Yeah.
So, since you have hit the sumo scene, you have become the number 1 woman in America, and that's why I've nicknamed you guys of sumo.
Yeah, I
Eros
was gonna say,
Armstrong.
you heard it here. I did not say that, but I really appreciate it.
I gave her that name because that's just how I felt. I also worked with the name Eros, so I just loved it. And I want to say, now that you have easily conquered the American mountain, how do you feel your chances of conquering the world mountain is? To bring that gold home to this country that we don't have many of. We have one gold in our history, and we have one silver recently, and that's it. How does that feel?
So I'm going to be honest, and you know what? I'm going to share it with you guys. As a veteran, as an 80s baby, I'm extremely motivated. There are just certain things that are in you, and I don't understand why more Americans aren't being medal holders. And I want to change that. As a veteran, I want to change that. There's something in me that will not let this stand. So I'm putting every hour in my waking moments, in my training, when like my body wants to give out, I am literally pushing harder than I've ever pushed in my life because I want to bring home gold medal. I want to bring home gold to Texas. I know the odds. I've seen the opponents. I've seen how good they are. And I think I can beat, I want to beat them. And I want to bring that home. And I'm asking for help from all of my peers and people who are more skilled than me. Everything is being dedicated to this, from my eating, my sleeping, everything.
If you do this, I believe, like our last gold medals, you could create a sumo like fountain here in America, just like it starts springing from you. Because like our last gold medals back in '95, Emmanuel Yarbolt, you've heard of him probably, the giant black man who just was bigger than life.
Yes.
Before he died. He got sumo really popular here in the United States to the point where they were talking about a world sumo league mainly because of him. And then he died, sadly. And I believe you have that ability too. I believe you have the ability to inspire a lot of people to join. You've already, in my opinion, made the women of America better sumo wrestlers. You gave them somewhere to strive for. It's like, well, this girl's beating everybody. We have to get better to get to you. It's true. Kelly's better.
I was always told,
your lady's better.
Yes,
Nicole is
yes.
better.
All of the women that I went up against, I saw like this huge growth, and that even inspires me more. I know that what's happening in the Americas, that we're shaping up. We're like, they've awoken the sleeping giants. That these women are waking up, that they are becoming, they're finding their fire, they're finding their light, they're finding whatever it is that's driving them, and they are charging full tilt towards winning. And I love it. I want them to come with me. I want them to go against these other nations and like just show what American can do. I really that's my whole motivation, as you know, what made me want to be in the military, what made me want to be an American. I want us to win. I want us to win. I want us to succeed. And for this if I can be the first to go in there and do that damage and take that gold medal and hold the door open, like, come on, let's go. I'm more happy for that. That's empowering.
That's empowering, yeah, all of us. It is. Oh man, I'm very excited. It's been other things that you've done that have already like really moved sumo forward. You had this year a tournament called W.I.N.S. For women only tournament, sumo tournament. The first one I've ever even heard of. Well, and I want to thank you for that for a huge reason. It brought Simone to the Mighty Eagle Sumos, who not only one of my favorite people ever, but she also qualified for Worlds in this last tournament. And that's how big of a change you made already with your one tournament.
So the one thing I can honestly say is that first I am a big sister. Before that I'm an American. But I was always taught, leave it better than you found it. And I noticed that there was this culture where women weren't being, like, good men like yourself were empowering women. But it was more focused on men. And I just wanted to see more women come out. I wanted to see more of us represent. And so I asked Justin to help me, and we made a tournament that, and with Helen's blessing, of course, made a tournament that had women as the focus.
Yeah.
More women could come out and just embrace themselves and develop this skill set that is naturally in them. Yeah. Like, you are naturally able to be a good sumo wrestler. You are naturally able to, you have this skill. Go for it. And I'm just happy to see the growth that's happened. I'm happy to see the growth that's happened within myself. I know COVID has been hard for some people. I know there's been plenty of setbacks. but I admire you all for continuing to fight forward.
So I have to ask some fun stuff. What have you been drinking so far with us today?
Oh my Lord. So I have had some of this plum and mango drink, as well as this pineapple, and there was a interesting little jumai. I had some of that. That was interesting. That was my one time celebrating. After that, I am going to be dedicated very harshly
That's
to
true. We got 6 months.
6 months of just water, and it will be there will be no things entering my body that don't participate to my sport.
I understand. Been
But
there.
this was a time to celebrate and a time to be fellowship with people like yourself. Yeah.
So I just want to let you know that I will be there for you anything you need. If you need to beat up on somebody, I'll sit there and take all the tachas you want to give me.
I need your weight. I'm
yeah,
just letting you know.
that's cool. That's cool. Any other kind of emotional support or technique support, I'm here for you, girl.
I just want to say that I hope you guys watch me and continue to support me. Not just, because of the veteran thing, but I would love your support as I continue to charge for this thing, because there's just something that I want to complete. I want to bring home a gold medal to the United States of America. I think that would just be amazing. And I want to do it so badly that I'm literally waking up at 5 a.m. I'm literally going to bed at awful hours just to try and make myself as competitive, as combat capable as I've ever been in my life to freaking just dominate. That is all I am doing, is dedicating this time.
Fantastic. I love it. Love it. I also love your hair looking today. I don't know who did
Thank
this.
you.
But man, you got it going, girl.
Right?
I know.
So I had this whole COVID season, I've had these wonderful people in my life entering, like Caleb, my mom's friends, everyone.
I love your
has
mom,
been-
by the way. I just
Yes.
wanted to say that. We've talked. I talked to her mom, like message-wise. I love her. She's fantastic. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. My mom has agreed to be the group therapist for the world team.
Nice.
And she is she's phenomenal. She helped me when I was on deployment. She helped me when I was literally dealing with some of the worst things you can deal with in the military. And she got me through that. So I know with her mental techniques, she's going to help shape them into a stronger fighting force, able
Nice.
to just, because once you're mentally ready to compete, the battle is almost won. It's
It's true.
it's just
It's
there.
true. If you're mentally ready and you believe you're going to win, it's halfway there, right there. Knowing is half the battle. Yes, I stole that from G.I. Joe.
Yes, you did. But it's okay, because G.I. Joe would have proved.
Yeah, they would have approved of this. All right, so I'm excited to see you there. Good luck, and I will be there for you. And we will be cutting back to me and Justin cutting this out here real quick. Say goodbye to Eros.
Nice meeting you all, and I hope you continue to support women in sumo and continue to support the Texas team as we go forth in worlds to take gold.
Oh yeah, Texas Sumo, American Sumo, USA, Team USA,
American Sumo, Team USA.
baby. So we're gonna go over the heavyweight, and I wanted to talk about something before we break down the heavyweight competition. I was in the heavyweights. I did not do so hot. I got 2 wins,
Tell him to shut up. He did great.
but I want to clarify something I said afterwards.
Okay, go ahead.
I made a post afterwards, and a lot of people misunderstood what I said.
He's very modest.
I said that my goals as a sumo wrestler are probably not going to be met. My goals before this point were win a tournament, like get a gold, win Texas State Championship, qualify for a Worlds team. At 42, and seeing the talent that's coming into sumo, I am deciding that's probably not going to happen. Does that break my heart? Yes. However, me saying that I'm going to move on from my goals to more coaching and stuff doesn't mean I'm not going to keep wrestling.
Okay.
I'm probably going to wrestle until I probably can't get in the ring anymore.
Fair enough.
It's just
Fair
that-
enough. I don't. As we're both similar age. Most people are shocked when they find out that I'm about to be 40. And
They're shocked when they find out I'm over 40. So
so we have off camera. We have our relationship in that sense. It's a beautiful thing to watch younger, hungry athletes come into the game, like in my category, that kid Edobar. But I think in life, if we could turn back, if we could like have some magic wand or some genie that gave us a wish, of anything, I don't think I would regret anything in my career and everything like that. It's a weird thing. I would just love to turn back and find sumo and start sumo at like Edobar's age, like 19.
That'd be nice. I'd be happy if it was even 30.
Jesus.
I didn't start till 40.
Turn back 10 years. If I started even at 30.
Yeah, in 20,
Shit.
if I did in my 20s, fantastic. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just that I
We're
realized
just two old man bitching and stuff.
I wanted to reach those goals anyway because I want to coach as much and coach and teach as much sumo as possible. And reaching those goals means people want to learn from you.
Yeah.
Like when people ask Justin to do seminars and stuff, they go, oh, gold nationalist, world qualifier, stuff like that.
Which makes me feel old sometimes. But I think I'm accepting this new transition. I know that for me, this might be I made the world team. I'm gonna give literally every piece of me to podium. Not just do it, to podium at Worlds, period. But I also am at the realization, and this is on tape, that this might be my last shot at World Games, and so that's why I'm going to give everything, even if it breaks. I'm going to give everything to this because I know that now. That's life, and I'm going to fall into a good coaching role, and a good, continue to push sumo in the U.S. This is our year to finally get Americans into it, just like how when soccer, motherfuckers, nobody cared about soccer until America started doing good in the Olympics and shit like that. And then Americans finally gave a shit about soccer. This is our year for American sumo, and I know we can grow fans, and I know that this guy, you can look back at the tapes, me and this guy will be teaching actual, World Games, hopefully Olympic fucking teams of young, hungry Americans to dominate in a sport like we always do.
That's what we want to do. And so, I had to say, this is my last chance to make a big name for myself. I did make it. It hurts a little bit because I would like people to ask me, hey, Caleb, you want to come and teach a seminar and stuff? And it's probably not going to happen now. That's fine. I've accepted that. I can still teach people,
Yes. We're there.
It's fine.
We're not, sorry, we're having a little
we're old moment. Maybe we're drinking a little bit.
But we're not going anywhere. You're still going to see our ugly faces.
True.
Right here on this camera.
I can't stop wrestling that. So men's heavyweight was huge. There was some, like I said, there's a bunch of Hawaiians that showed up. They were fantastic.
Dude, the Hawaiians
First, I
showed
want to
out.
mention one of them
Who's the
because
blonde one?
No. We're going to the first insane match.
Okay.
One of the top 3 matches. I already mentioned one of the best matches, which was, Josh versus Trent with the Trent Slam. The Trent Slam is what we're calling that now. The Trent Slam.
Trent Slam.
One of the first matches was Jose, the best, in my opinion, even now still. I don't care if he didn't
Jose
podium.
and Henry.
Jose is the best wrestler in America at the moment.
Period.
And then he took on this newcomer named Henry, who I swear to God is the amateur version of Konishiki.
That shit, run the tape. That shit was amazing. It looked like old sumo.
Oh my God!
It looked like some pro sumo. Neither of them wanted to go down. God, it was a long battle.
A long match.
It looked like it was over, and then it wasn't. Oh my! That is probably the hardest struggle Jose has ever had.
I agree.
In his career.
That's harder than even the Robert matches he's had.
Yeah.
Robert's
powerful, but the side, he's Konishiki.
He is the amateur version of Konishiki. It's amazing.
He's Konishiki.
And
shout out to you, Henry.
Shout out to you, Henry.
Yeah.
And it finished crazy, and I saw it. I was sitting really close to where Jose was exiting the ring. I saw him get down and collapse right after the match. A combination of exhaustion and Henry landing on his
Dropped it.
head.
Yeah.
It just racked his brain for a little bit, and so he wasn't on the top of the game for the rest of the tournament, and he did not podium. I don't care. He is still the best wrestler in America.
And speaking to Jose afterwards, he knows what he's got to do. He's always been the best, and now Hawaii stepped in and has fueled his fire. 2022, Jose Galindo is gonna be dangerous as fuck. He's coming with fire.
He will.
Look for him to literally just dominate the heavyweight scene, and shit. He will probably, 2023, he will be on the heavyweight team, and we're bringing that shit to Russia.
Yes, we are. So, the other people that made it, we got Henry getting gold. We got Robert getting silver. Robert's strong as hell.
Yeah.
He is he's just insanely strong. He's physically probably the strongest person.
Yeah. And he understands leverage. Like, I've seen him leverage men who've got and he's heavy. I've seen him leverage men who've got another 100 pounds on him.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like they're children. And I said, damn,
And one of the De La Torre brothers got third, Angel. I want to mention this.
Dudes, the De La Torre brothers.
They showed up to the Texas Classic at the beginning of this year. They were good. I wasn't so impressed with their technique, but they were good. By this tournament, their technique is fantastic.
Yeah.
The amount that they learned in 1 year is crazy.
How cool is it that there's like 3 brothers in a whole family? Because he now has one other De La Torre brother that's down in light heavy.
Light heavy.
You got 3 brothers. I wish my other 2 brothers did sumo so that we could all just train together. It didn't matter. It didn't even in or out of the ring. We just go in the backyard and let's figure this out.
I got one actually, so I just got him started. Casey Backus.
Side note, his brother has been fucking up. His brother should have been in sumo. Dude came to the team tournament. This is off topic.
Yeah.
Came to the team tournament and was like, why have you not been in sumo?
Blown away. Almost be
Justin.
Justin.
Brother, look for it. My old man skills took over, but look for his brother to be in a lot more tournaments, especially in the San Antonio tournament.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
But so I was really excited about that. It was fantastic, and the third best match I saw today was the 2 brothers, Angel and Gilberto, fought in the open weight, and they killed each other, and it was fantastic too. Those are the 3 best matches.
That was actually a cool matchup.
It really
brother
was.
versus brother, like that was good. The older brother, Gilberto, I asked him right after the match. I was like, "Oh, y'all be doing that all the time, right?" He's like, "Yeah, we fight we fight all the time in the backyard." And I was like, "Who usually wins?" And according to Gilberto, he does. So Angel, I don't know. You need maybe give us some insight. Let us know that maybe he just only one-sided perspective. But damn, I would love to see that family at Christmas.
I want to make some other mentions in heavyweights. The blonde, I don't remember his name at the moment. The blonde gentleman from Hawaii. Fantastic.
I do apologize. Both of us have forgot. We forgot.
If
your
I
name.
find it, I'll throw it up on the screen.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
It
but
really was.
I do want to say that his tachiai, your tachiai, sir, gives us seriously like Harima Fuji vibes.
It's great.
Dude, your tachiai. I'm excited and afraid to get on the line with you, sir, because that tachiai was low and fucking straight to the gut, but it wasn't one of those tachiais that's low, too low where it looks like it's gonna overcommit. It was straight up Harima Fuji vibes.
It was fantastic.
Fucking killing it.
And I want to mention another one because I saw 2 badass tachiais. Colton Runyon, who used to be a Texan. He's in, I believe he's still in England at the moment.
No, he's from Dallas.
He's from Dallas.
In England, he's like a genius, getting his doctorate, PhD
from Cambridge
in,
and some shit.
And
he's gone to Japan and fucking learned some sumo. His tacho is also low and gorgeous, just like that.
Yep.
Both of them just getting low in the heavyweights, and that was fantastic.
Yeah.
He ended up losing to Henry because Henry's a big man to move. So I don't think it bothered him too much. I want to talk to him afterwards.
I don't know Henry's exact weight. Hopefully one of you guys got it, but I was asking around, and some people floated that it was somewhere between 500 and 600, which is hitting at Yamamoto Yama level.
Woo.
Dude was like a phenomenal, like massive man.
He can move.
And
He
a
won
really
the
sweet
gold
dude.
with the Hinka on Robert.
Yeah.
He can move.
He's got lateral movement. Like,
Oh.
hey, Ichinojo, get your game up, bro.
The other person I want to mention, because I'm excited about his future, is Khalil from Dallas. Considering that he's so new and he still has a lot of technique issues, how well he did impress me.
Yes.
He is very strong, very young. I'm going to go up to Dallas as much as possible to work with him because I think he is right now the best chance for a great heavyweight from Texas.
From Texas, exactly.
And I'm going to work with him as much
Now
as I
there
can.
are a few,
There's other people who have a chance.
Yeah.
But
No.
now he's leading the pack.
Khalil's leading the pack. Make sure, he's got to keep his, number one, he's got to have his nutrition like an athlete,
He's got to warm up a little bit and stretch some because he gets hurt a lot.
more stretching, a lot more, just
His
more
feet come
technique.
together. That bothers me.
Yeah. More technique, but the power's there.
The power and the speed is there for and the moves. He actually can do some throws and shit. He's pretty good all around.
Yeah.
I'm excited about him. I also really
And
like.
he's cocky as fuck.
He is cocky as fuck. He's got that. He's got that champion attitude. Like he gets mad when he loses, and when he wins, he's like, "Yeah, of course I won."
But this tournament was good for him because being the new heavyweight on the block in Texas is one thing. He got to actually experience the rest of the United States, which is also still a drop in the bucket
From the world.
So, being a big fish in a small pond, big fish in a medium, because, we're Texas.
We're Texas.
In a medium-sized pond is a good thing, but I am very glad that he got to experience what the next level feels like and where he needs to evolve himself.
So I also like to do a quick mention. We had a father and son match in heavyweight, Sykes versus Sykes.
That was fun.
That was fun. Eric Sykes tried to be tricky and do like a pull down move. Jordan was not fooled and just pushed him right up.
Fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, if you try to do like a whoop, look at my move against someone who's ready for it, they will just knock you the hell out.
Yeah.
I'll show that real quick. That was fun. Father versus father. And Jordan, we're all excited for your future in sumo.
Yeah.
That kid's still 16.
Bro,
Jesus.
win or lose, you are young as fuck.
Yes.
I wish I had this time to make mistakes and fix mistakes.
Yeah, you have
We
plenty
don't
of
have
chances to make
time
world
to
games.
make mistakes. Dude. You will be on the next World Games. Period.
You're that good.
The first season
Oh,
always
Voyager's
sucks.
next. Voyager's next.
Remember the first season always sucks. Just get past that. And we're your
I
practice
have
is
full
fun.
faith in you now. Like once you were like Justin, trust me on Deep Space Nine. Because I started watching that episode. I started watching Deep Space Nine, and I was like, I don't know. You and Murray were just like, trust me, get past season 1. It gets
So much better.
and it is not.
Like I said,
God
the
damn,
best
it is.
thing was the fact that because they were stationary, decisions they made would come back and haunt their ass over and over again. It wasn't just like we made a decision, we're gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's
Like
a bad
on
thing.
this planet, well, that diplomacy didn't work. Anyways, we're off the rest of the galaxy.
So that was me and Eros, and that was fun. That was our conversation. I'm sorry, we were supposed to have Simone. Our old drunk asses kept talking until she had to leave. I'll blame her later.
We'll
but
get her
honestly,
on
it's
here.
my
We'll
fault.
get her on
It's
here.
my fault and his fault for just rambling on forever.
It happens. It happens.
It happens.
You know.
So we're gonna come back probably with a Hakaho episode next, and then
Yes.
hopefully a preview and a post of the January tournament. And we'd love to get some people from Dallas to talk to us with us in January if it's possible.
Yes, Miss Siggy
Siggy.
and Corey, we would love to have you on the show. Please come through.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, so that's where we're going. We'll go back to professional. We'll go back to Saki that time. Oh,
Yeah. Don't waste a drop.
much more do we have?
No,
We're
no.
gonna finish it like always. We're gonna finish this before we're leaving. So-
We've gotten 4 bottles in.
we got this left.
We got a little bit. We got a little.
Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit more, and then we'll get out of here. Let's talk about I don't know. Oh, actually, there is something I've been wanting to talk about. There is a gentleman. I don't remember his name anymore because I'm drunk. But he asked you in our comments what you didn't like about Tochinoshin.
Oh, you know,
I love Tochinoshin,
hey,
one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
I should have responded to you. I just, you know, I was pretty much focused on Worlds or on the North Americans. I'm gonna say I'm not a hater of Tochinoshin. I'm not. I don't hate him as much as I do hate Shodai. But or Abi. I will say he is lumped in for me with Rikishi that are very one-dimensional. I tend to enjoy watching the evolution, like, you know, oh, so and so was a pusher, but then he evolved and got some belt skill. Takakeisho,
The way he went
amazing.
from push to push and
To
pull
actually-
to the slap down thing that what J-Wags named perfectly the swipe left move where he just
Swipe left.
it's a perfect name.
And so to me, I enjoy watching the evolution of fighters, and I'm sorry, man. I have not ever seen Tochinoshin evolve. I thought because of his injury, yes, he was always winning with his power lift outs, and I thought his injury was going to evolve him so that he can adapt to his injury and become a new style of a fighter. But he didn't.
Yeah, any other ones he gets
So-
besides lift out is usually because he couldn't get the lift out.
And there is your answer, sir. That is exactly that's me. And so
guess.
I don't know.
It's like a
it's not to say
no-show.
he's good at what he does, but over time we cannot stick to what we always know. And life gives you curveballs. Life gives you a fucked up knee. Life gives you a fucked up back. Life gives you a torn pectoral muscle. And I like to see the fighters that adapt to their new bodies. And I just don't think he has.
Maybe.
There's my answer.
I felt like he has, but I think it's not the best adaptation. He started using the Hika Hakutomi when much more when his knees
So
started going out.
That's me. You may have your opinion, you know, and I mean we're always gonna have opinions, but it's our show.
That was your answer. If you have more questions, please ask us. We will try to answer them. We also have a girl named Ari who we can bring on, who's our personal historian.
She's legit like a sumo dictionary. We're gonna have Ari on here on the show. Who knows? Maybe in January. That'd be a nice little great way to open up January, and because Ari is fucking awesome. Like she's young as hell and like a sumo nerd and has memorized like more records and categories than we could ever touch.
And I'm very proud that she came here because she said herself after the Houston tournament that she probably would never have started doing sumo herself if she hadn't moved out of Japan and came to Texas.
She's a Japanese citizen,
We
and
love that.
Texas got her into sumo.
Yep.
Ha! Irony.
So we're going to talk a little bit also about amateurs. Texas Sumo is coming up. I am going to give out the Texas champions from 2021 in our first tournament, which will probably be in San Antonio in February. Watch out for that. We got some other tournaments. I think we're going to have like 4 to 5 tournaments in San Antonio this year, maybe more. Not San Antonio, but Texas this year.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
For sure, at least 4. There's
At
gonna
least
be
4.
5. The women,
The wins.
the wins, the
At
men's.
least one in each major city. But Dallas is thinking about having 2. I'm thinking about having 2 if we can find a way to get around it because I would love to do the team tournament again because
We're
the event was
doing
fun.
1. The
Consulates
Consulates
Cup,
Cup.
probably around Labor Day weekend.
That's all you get. That's a lot of work.
But the point is, should be some awesome competition. Amateur in Texas is going to be great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more amateurs around the United States. I hope the Hawaiians show up as many times as possible.
Yeah. That would be
John,
amazing.
Jax,
Figure out the funding.
we're going to try to get
them boys here.
We're going to try to get to Salt Lake City in April. We want to see you. We want to have sake.
We should do an exclusive.
We can do a sumo sake.
Let's put it out of the air. No, let's put it out there.
Yeah,
in the
just-
universe.
Yes, we're going to
John
do
Jocks, Salt Lake City,
just drinking sake, talking about sumo with that great gentleman right there. And this is the last of our stuff.
Oh.
That means
time.
I know we're gonna suck this down. We loved you for joining us. We know this is a long one, but we had a really good time in Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, a really good time. You got to talk to our guys. We got to get drunk. I got to go to the Tournament of Kings.
He went to medieval times without me.
And fucking it was fantastic. We got the Black Knight. We got to cheer him. We were cheering for evil. Wait, where was I? Sumo. We love you guys.
We talking about food right now. we got off track.
Let's finish this up.
Hey.
Most of us are going to go watch the Spider-Man movie now. And we'll see y'all soon.